What is going on to you, Aquarius? So please make sure to watch the whole video after this reading, right? In the same video, this one, there will be a Why I Love Aquarius video that's attached to this one. So it's all in one. So comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I am doing private tarot readings. If you'd like to contact me for private tarot readings or any of my other services, you can go directly to the link in the comment section called a link tree. Click on it and it'll show up. And what it'll do is it'll redirect you to a website which it has a drop down menu of all the ways that you can support me. So the Three of Pentacles, the Death card, and the Two of Wands are all about how you, Aquarius, are done with the idea of having to always support others, and so many people don't support you. Because like it is, I said before, Aquarius, y'all rule over the 11th house, and the 11th house is the hidden enemies, people that you don't necessarily see, that you would think has a problem with you, actually are the people that are the closest to you, right? It could be self-sabotaging. It could be you throwing salt in your own situation. It could be friends. It could be family members. So Aquarius requires you, the actual energy, the zodiac sign, right, requires you to be a lot more thoughtful and mindful as to what it is that you're doing. You shouldn't just be roaming around doing absolutely nothing or just acting whimsically. You need to think about how you approach others, and you need to reflect on how other people approach you. Are they doing it from a perspective of one of kindness, and they want to reciprocate, they want to return the favor? They actually care about you enough to want you to benefit? And if they don't, then essentially the Death card, right? You put an end to the relationship. You cut them off. And I've said this many a times, far too often Aquarius and Pisces be getting like disrespected and thrown to the wolves, so to speak, because a lot of y'all will have people that you know good and well, but all of this, you know that these people don't really have your best interest in mind, but you'll do all of that and let them stay around you because you, Aquarius, are lonely, and that you want to have somebody, and that if you take the time to really be that critical when it comes to really maintaining and making sure that people around you really have value. A lot of you Aquarius perceive that, but if you do that, you won't have anybody around you to look like. And the truth is that's not necessarily the truth. That could be the furthest from the truth, because you should want to be all by yourself, or I should say, you should want to be by yourself in a sense that by yourself in comparison to a massive amounts of people, group of people around you, but they don't have your back. Those are enemies that are beset on all sides, that are on four corners, whether it's north, east, south, and west. So you have to pay attention to that type of stuff, right? So now the Five of Cups and the Five of Pentacles is about how you may have some regrets, but like those regrets, should really be about you haven't necessarily done this sooner. Some of the regrets, though, would be you wish that you would have gotten with somebody when they actually was letting you know that they're interested in you. But what you, Aquarius, have to understand is you learned the lesson, okay? You learned the lesson, and I'm sure you know that you're remorseful and that you're compassionate about what it is that you did, but you have to continue to move forward anyway. You can't take so much time out of your day and out of your life pondering about the past. What you have to do is you have to learn from the past without getting so emotionally impacted to the point where you end up sabotaging your present and making too big of a mistake that it can impede or start to mess up your future, is what I'm trying to say. So now the Tower and the Tower and the Six of Pentacles here represents you, Aquarius, now, right? It's a sudden shift where you have the Six of Pentacles. Okay. And the Six of Pentacles is that it's a sudden shift where you do have people that are interested coming up out of nowhere. You do have people that will walk up to you and say, hey, what are you doing? You all right? Let's hang out. I would like to hang out. The King of Cups represents, and then it'll be on you to make the decision on what it is that you, Aquarius, want to do. The Queen of Swords, right, represents how it is that, and don't overthink it. Queen of Swords doesn't necessarily represent somebody particularly getting in the way. The Queen of Swords could represent you getting in your own way, thinking that it's not going to work. What's the point? Are they on your level? Well, that's why it is that you're testing them out. That's why it is that you're getting to know them. And when I say test, I'm not talking about S tests. I'm talking about, that's why you're giving them a chance, right? But then you have the Queen of Pentacles here. My family doing something crazy. Anyway, so the Queen of Pentacles is about you. You are on the prowl. You're on the hunt, in essence, right? And I should say that only serious people that actually want to get to know you for real need apply. If someone is BSing and wasting your time, I just see that a lot of you Aquarius are not really going to appreciate that, because you'll party in a relationship. You're not going to party single. You're going to party. Well, yeah, you're going to party single, but you're not going to party like that. You're not going to party like that, if you know what I mean. You'll party while you're in a relationship. While somebody wants to have you and get to know you, then a lot of you Aquarius will party, right? Your psychology of it, your mindset, your mentality of it has very much so changed. That's your mentality, that you would rather party while you're in a relationship, while you're getting to know somebody, right? And it's not a waste. It's not a waste. As long as you're doing it from a perspective of knowing what it is that you want, it's not a waste. Because see, the truth is that whenever I ain't gonna say most of the times, right? But sometimes, whenever it is that you see or you hear about how some people get into situations with friends with benefits, right? That are friends with benefits, I should say. Sometimes they don't really want to be in those type of connections. But, that's all it is that unfortunately they could really get, because, they essentially trying to make it so that, they're trying to make it so that, the best thing that, how do I say this, right? They're trying to make it so that what they've got going on is that they want to be in something real. But unfortunately, that's all it is that they could get, because they don't want to actually take their time to get to know somebody else, right? Nor do they really have the discipline to do that, right? They're caught up with romantic fun, if you catch my drift. That's one of their addictions. That's one of the things that's one of their habits. I'm gonna go from addictions to saying habits. That's one of the things that they have a habit of. They like the sensation. They like it. And the thing is that you Aquarius are doing it right. You want to have fun, but you want to have fun while you're in a relationship. You want to show somebody your own domestic skills, and that, yeah, you Aquarius can be young and wild and free and have fun and all of that, and never a dull moment. You Aquarius are always going to find a way to be a pick-me-up in your own lives and another person's life, all of that. But at the same time, the Queen of Pentacles is about, but you also want to be able to share that with somebody else. That's how it is that you Aquarius know that you've reached a new level. Is when you reached a form of genuine generosity that isn't rooted in needing to give off all your attention on somebody else because you want to escape your own problems. But at the same time, it's also about getting to know another person as you are taking care of yourselves. That's how it is that you Aquarius know that, you know, you're getting to another level. Wink, wink, hint, hint, right? I'm pretty sure y'all saw that coming. So let's clarify the Queen of Pentacles now. Page of Swords, Nine of Swords, the Devil, and then you have the High Priestess. Yeah. And y'all are ruled by Saturn, you know. Page of Swords, the Nine of Swords. These two cards right here are about you, Aquarius. You're worried. You may be worried about the opposition, right? The enemies, right? The potential people that are jealous of you as you're getting to know them, right? If you could get to know somebody and then the shoe drops or things go bad because they start not remembering what the relationship is for. And to be honest with you, you have the Devil and the High Priestess. The High Priestess. You really shouldn't be worried about that, because if they're going to show you what type of a weirdo is jealous of the person that they are hanging out with, you know what I mean, that they're dating, like that's weird, you know what I mean? That's weird. So I just want you, Aquarius, to know that if they start moving like they're jealous, and how to spot jealousy. Let me go over that too real fast, just to kind of give y'all a little bit more game. How you spot jealousy is little subtle things. That's why it is that I was trying to tell y'all, I have been telling y'all, that when it comes to manipulation and like games, it's so subtle. If you miss it, because the way that jealousy moves is that jealousy, or jealous people, right? People who caught the green-eyed monster, they don't want to be found out, Aquarius. So what they do is they're very covert most of the times, right? Like people who can admit to you that they're jealous, you know what I'm saying? That's not really normal when it comes to the jealousy spectrum, and envious, right? Those two together. So a person who is jealous or envious, these are people who may make little comments about what it is that you have. They may advise you to do certain things that are wrong, and that you go ahead and you listen to it. And those are people who come to find out they don't know what they're doing. I can stop right then and there, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you Aquarius probably have in some sort of interaction with whether a family member or friend, right? A non-romantic friend, or a romantic interest in the past, somehow, some way, where it's like they told you a bunch of nonsense, and then now you Aquarius going back, and you Aquarius are like, well, why did you tell me this nonsense? And they, I don't know. And you're like, so you told me this, wasted time, wasted money, I wasted this, when you could have just told me this type of stuff on the real, and I would have been on some stuff. What exactly are you doing? Well, I didn't know. I have your best interest in mind, though. So you Aquarius really need to watch that, but not really, because at the end of the day, if a person shows you that, you should move away from them, because they're an idiot. So why do I love Aquarius? I love Aquarius because, well, for starters, I'm kind of attracted to Saturn borns. And what I mean by that is, I've noticed that I kind of have a track record of being attracted to Aquarius or Capricorns. I find them to be extremely attractive. Another reason why it is that I love Aquarius is because Aquarius is very much so creative. A lot of Aquarius are very much so creative. And what I mean when I say creative, I'm talking about all kinds of ways, right? Pulling from the opposite polarity, Leo, and Leo rules the fifth house. Fifth house represents creativity. Aquarius people are usually very creative. They love childlike toys, right? Playtime. They remind you, right? Aquarius reminds you of what it's like to be a child again, that carefree attitude and mentality. At one point, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. At one point, I used to think that Aquarius was the perfect zodiac sign. Fixed, but not solid. You know, not necessarily so caught up with earthly things to the point where it ruins them, right? Very much so airy. The ability to detach themselves from worldly endeavors. And me being an earth sign in Virgo, sometimes, even though I'm mutable, it's not as easy as it is for me to detach myself from earthly things as it is for an air sign to do so, no matter the situation. I love Aquarius because when an Aquarius mind and their heart are really working as one, they can be some of the most kindest people in the world, and the most helpful as well. You know, they deal with the humanitarian. So Aquarius wants to help people, especially when they're in need. And that's that Saturn energy that I was talking about. You know, that Saturn energy is what I'm talking about. That idea that Saturn represents retribution or revenge, yes, but Saturn also represents something that needed to have happened, that is well deserved over a long period of time, because a person has worked their butt off time and time again to get what it is that they're looking for, and made the sacrifices. Capricorn, and when I say retribution, yes, Capricorn could represent revenge on a lower level. Well, I should not even say Capricorn, I'll say Saturn, right? It's just that Capricorn is so synonymous sometimes with Saturn, but Saturn borns, regardless of whether it is Capricorn or Aquarius, right? Because I'm doing an Aquarius video after all. Saturn is a planet that represents retribution as far as revenge in the lower levels. But on the higher levels, Saturn represents retribution in the sense that the game being rigged, and Saturn steps in to make it fair. Something that you should have had for a long time. So in other words, it's like The Pursuit of Happiness, right? With Will Smith, how it is that Will Smith sacrificed so much of his time in the movie and his life. He had to give up so much. It was just him and his son doing their thing in the movie. And Will Smith was sacrificed and took this internship. There was no guarantees, wasn't getting paid. And what happened at the end of it, at the end of all that pain, and I'm kind of, the hair on, you know, my hairs are kind of standing up as I'm talking about it, because that's so inspirational. The idea that you did all that sacrificing, you went through all that uncomfortability, you went through all that suffering, you went through all that pain, that discomfort, the anguish, you sacrificed. Only at the end of it all, at the end of the movie, that is when Will Smith actually got, that was based on a true story. Will Smith actually got the millions of dollar job that he worked so hard for. Them other people, they were trust funds. They wasn't gonna go so hard the way that he was. And those corporate board executives saw, and they knew that he was poor. They knew it, because them trust fund people, them other competitors that were trust funds, right? Inheritors of their parents' riches, or whatever the case may be, by birth, by family. They weren't working as hard as he was. Will Smith didn't come from riches in a movie. That's what represents Saturn. The game is rigged, and now Saturn steps in to make things right. So an Aquarius, just like a Capricorn, can help pick a person up and actually be the one to do the dirty work. And sometimes the Aquarius doesn't even necessarily not believe. That's definitely not what I'm not. Sometimes the Aquarius does not even have to want to help, but they understand that they're doing it because it's the right thing to do. You know, that level of uprightness, you can't teach. You know what I'm saying? Like that level of integrity, you can't teach. You know, so many times people spend so much time trying to like downplay integrity. Like, what is integrity going to buy me? Exactly. Integrity is something that's so priceless. You can't buy anything out of a store with that, because you either have it or you don't. You're either cut from a certain cloth or you're not. And the thing about Aquarius is, a lot of you Aquarius, when your mind and your heart are in the correct place, I'm not talking about the lower level Aquarius, because the lower level Aquarius can represent the devil. But when an Aquarius is on a higher level, y'all end up doing great and wonderful things, not only for other people, but for yourselves. I love Aquarius because Aquarius wants to do something that a generation, or how many generations coming up, haven't necessarily thought about yet. And you know, unfortunately, you know, Aquarius doesn't necessarily actually manifest it, but you could tell that they're steadily trying to think about how to manifest an idea that is so, like, trying to manifest an idea that is so untapped, in the sense that they don't necessarily know what the next lane or category or like product is going to be. But the Aquarius is trying to think of a product that is so out of the box, to the point where it literally sets a generation or two generations, or how many, it changes the world in the sense that it sets the generations to come forward as opposed to back. A lot of Aquarius are very beautiful. You know, I've had the you know, I'm not even gonna lie, to love an Aquarius is difficult. Oh my gosh. An Aquarius will be standoffish with you till the end of time. I don't even know where it come from. But the Aquarius is, like I said, very attractive. So these are just some of the reasons why I love an Aquarius. Another reason why I love Aquarius is because they're willing to try out new things. They want to be told why. They want to be. And if an Aquarius comes sniffing around asking why, tell them why. Right? Because an Aquarius wants to be given the information as to why, so that they can learn. I love the fact that an Aquarius knows that they look good, or they are attractive, but they underplay that, right? And they want people to not just like them for their body and their looks, but they want people to like them for their creativity and overall the way that their mind works. You know, the fact that, you know, they want people to see them as a person that stands up for the right thing, when their mind and their heart are in the correct place. I want to put that caveat out there. And that they will do things that are right, even when they know it's going to be difficult to do those things. If their mind and their heart are in the correct place, they will do the right thing to do. They will do it. And if at the very least the Aquarius cannot do the right thing, if they are too egocentric to say sorry to you, they will not cause more damage. They will decide to leave your life instead of them doing the damage worse. Instead of them making the damage that they have caused, whether they know it or not, in your life. Because some Aquarius people are the devil, like I said. They're very much so conniving and manipulative, and they don't care about other people. That's the reason why Aquarius has to make a decision on whether they are going to have integrity or not at a young age. Because the way that air signs view things and the way that the other elements view things are not necessarily the same way. The way that air signs view things is they understand the same stuff that I be talking about in my videos about morality and how the world is not governed around morality. And the Aquarius understand that. Geminis and Libras understand that quite much so, or they understand that quite a lot. It's just that that's what's so messed up about it when it comes to when an Aquarius's mind and their heart are not in the correct place. That can spell trouble for the other person, but who is not necessarily an Aquarius. But the thing about it is that what I've found out to be true is that when an Aquarius, regardless of if they meant to mean you harm, they will not continue on doing it. They will decide to get out of your life because they understand, all right, they've done it, enough is enough. It's time to leave at the very least. And I can appreciate that, even if I've met some Aquarius myself, and that's part of how it is that I come to find out that Aquarius is not necessarily the perfect zodiac sign. And there's many flaws that I could go into, but I won't. But I can respect that because a lot of Aquarius have broken my heart, but they did not stick around to rub it in and to make it feel worse. They got out of there. They decided, you know what, it is what it is. At the very least I can do, if I've hurt you, at the very least that I can do is leave you alone and not make it worse. So these are just some of the reasons, among many, why it is I love Aquarius.